Welcome to the Inside Black Iowa. I'm your host, Dana James, and the founder and publisher of Black Iowa News. Inside Black Iowa looks at the people, places, and things of importance to Black Iowans. And today we have with us Craig Farley Jr. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great. So, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm fresh. I just got back from the gym, trying to get mind, body, and soul together.
The Black Iowa newspaper, the winter edition,
Mhm.
your work is on the cover, and I just have to thank you for that. People have raved about the cover, and
Mhm.
so you've gotten a lot of accolades that you don't even know about because people love that cover. So thank you for that.
That's the beauty. That's all I care about is just doing what it's supposed to.
Tell us about all of your titles and how you got those.
Uh, well, I'd say first is a videographer now, videographer slash cinematographer. My end all be all goal at some point is going to be to produce movies. Um, but if you want to get down to the roots of it, my dad taped everything that me and my brothers did from 1986, at least for me, to 2002. And so I've seen myself grow up on video, which is it's different. It's one thing to see a picture, and it's another to be able to hear your voice, to see your mannerisms, to see how big your head was, you know what I'm saying? See yourself and throughout your life. And so that was really special for me to be able to sit down and watch that. And so at the root of Cignature Productions is that somebody who's seen that his whole life. And when I really first started off, my ex-wife had bought me a flip cam, a camera, and I used to kind of like take it and take people's birthday parties just the whole night, and then take it and I had a little like free editing software, excuse me, and I would make them into like 15-minute movies, and we'd watch them. That in itself is what sparked the business. So when I started rapping, I invested in recording, and then I decided to get a recording studio of my own because I didn't want to pay people for that. Why would I pay you if I can do it myself? Same thing on the video side. It came time to doing music videos, and why pay somebody? And I invested into a professional camera, and we produced all our music videos. And so the years of doing music videos for myself and all the production, I said to myself, when I stopped, why would I stop this? And I had all these 10 years of skills. Why would I not utilize it to maximize something in my life? And there you have Cignature Productions. I remember my dad's best friend, Bush Douglas, first job I did was he had a birthday party, and I took it and I just captured the day. And there you go. There's the product right there. And it's just blossomed into what you've seen today.
So, what year did Signature Productions technically get started?
As a business in 2016, I
2006.
had been doing projects since 2011. I had mentioned in one of my interviews, I did a big project with John Martin called Cypher Sessions. And we did that in 2011. And like I said, that was 5 years before I actually became a business. And so I had a lot of jobs that I took on and things I was doing before I became a business. But from 2011 to 2016, I grew so much, and it was a real passion of mine that it was time to go ahead and turn it into a business.
How did those other jobs that you had impact what you're doing in your own business? Because I believe when we talked, you talked about like your marketing
hmm
skills and things like that. How did you bring those to bear on what you're doing now for yourself?
Um, well, I've been in the corporate world with the jobs and been in management now 10, 15 years plus, and you see the insides of a corporation, right? You see how they work, you see how they market, and you see the intricate ways of how it really reaches people. And so I learned some of the tactics that I use in the corporate world to also instill in my own business. And one of those big things is branding. Um, that's what is what's carried me is helping people create content to brand their products or their merchandise, their events, your birthday parties, whatever, because it's essential. In the corporate world, the thing that separates what besides your product, the how much people know you is the amount of marketing that people put into their brands. Like, I work for a company called Diamond Voga in my main job. The only thing that really separates us from a Sherwin-Williams is their ability to market. They're on social media, TikTok, every avenue you can think of where marketing happens, you see something from them. Now we are more of a family owned small type, so then you get that feeling that you don't get there. But in the grand scheme of things, marketing is what really separates people in terms of how popular they are.
And so you're helping people market their businesses, events, and just capture those special moments that would otherwise, just be a memory. You're bringing those to life.
Yeah, and the last 4 or 5 years, I've been really on this trail of Black events in Des Moines, all Black events. And the one thing that was eye-opening to me is when I would do these events, I'd always wonder why I never saw anything about them. If you're not in that room for that event, how do you know about it? How do you know about it outside of that? Besides people sharing the night or two after, I've come in and created marketing for these guys and everybody who's doing their events. It allows you to have a product that you can use to, especially when you're doing things annually on an annual basis. It allows for you to have something marketing wise to promote to people to bring attention to it in a way that it hadn't been. And for all of us, that's how I get that I get the attention of events is because I see something like that. And as time has went on, I've seen that people are utilizing it because once I do it, if you don't use it, then what's the investment for? The biggest payoff of that is using it year after year, day after day, putting it on your social media events, doing what I call a digital footprint because you get a paper trail of history of things that will show up on the internet. And that's how you get into algorithms and all those, which is kind of, there's a lot of layers to that, but that's what it is. It's just a way to help people market themselves.
Mentioned cinematography. What are you planning? How will you grow to doing that type of work?
So, so with last year I graduated from the African American Leadership Academy, and there's a documentary we produced that's called Through the Lens that has been shown in the Varsity Theater. We had the Grandview Viking Theater, and then we just did the
Alma
big.
mater.
Oh, that's okay, okay.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
excuse me. And then we just had the Big 12 conference at Iowa State. And so for me, uh, I've been doing work and I see it on cell phones and computers everywhere. But to see something for the first time in a movie theater, that's what cinematography is. That's what my goal is. Um, so now I'm working on a second one. I'm working on a second documentary, which I hope to premiere next year. Well, no, let me say this, that I believe in speaking things into existence that will premiere next year. And it is called You Can't Question Results. And
Okay.
and and I ain't gonna give too much sauce on it, but uh, the one thing I'm really proud about it is with the African American Leadership Academy, we as a group decided on that. And we worked together. There was a marketing team, there was a storytelling team. I just handled the production side. So it was a group effort, and we're very proud of what that's done. But we only had 2 months to accomplish that. But people who have seen it, that was all done in 2 months, in a 2 month window. And like I said, I'm very proud of that. But this new one I'm working on now, I have a year. I have a year plus to really put into this so that it can be even bigger. But Through the Lens is my first cinematography baby that's been in the theater, and sky's the limit from here.
Okay. Fantastic. What you would tell young people that wanna do what you do, what advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing specifically is anything, whether it's what I'm doing or something that you have to have passion for it. You have to really believe in it because the one thing is when you have a passion and you explain it to people, most of the time, nobody's going to see it the way that you do. So you got to have um, confidence in your own vision individually first. Because people are going to say, I don't know if that's a good idea. You might have some people who fan your flame. You're going to have people who don't. But at the core, you got to believe in it first. Cignature Productions wouldn't be what it is without people believing in me. But at the end of it was me believing in it first and knowing that it can be more. So that's the first step that I would say to anybody, whether it's doing videography, whether it's selling clothes, whether it's doing a newspaper, like what you're doing. You got to have passion and believe in it first. And then from there, you got to get around the right people.
So what do you do when people, as you said, fan your flames? Has that happened to you? Can you think of a point where you got a message maybe not to do it, or that people thought it wouldn't work, or maybe you should focus your attention somewhere else? Because I know I certainly did. But
Oh yeah,
how did you handle it?
yeah, I absolutely have. Trust, I won't say names, but I've had a lot of people who, will try to play down what I'm doing. Uh, especially being black and African American in Iowa. There's production companies everywhere. So, how could somebody like me create something like that and think that I can make room, make way and be successful? And I'm a very competitive person. So number one, when somebody tells me I can't do something, the only thing that does for me is make me want to go harder at it. And so you just got your head up and focus on your dream because again, there's always going to be that, Will Smith said, if you're not willing to embarrass yourself a million times, you're not ready for success.
Snap.
That's what entrepreneurship period is there's gonna be way more failures than successes, especially in the beginning. But there's a guy that I used to and God rest his soul, Nipsey Hussle. He's a rapper that passed away a couple years ago. He got shot. And he had reached a lot of success. He had taken an area in Los Angeles of Slauson and turned Ryman business community. And I remember his interview. They asked him, if you buy some what you're doing, what would you say? And he said, I just didn't quit. And to me, that's one of the most important things when anything is to me, it really ain't this like a secret recipe to being successful. Uh, it's believing in yourself, having passion for it, and not quitting. I like to use this term called the snowball effect. And it's when you get a snowball and you put it in the snow, and there's a whole field of snow, as long as that snowball's moving, it start getting bigger and bigger. The only thing that stops a snowball from growing is if it stops. And so whether you're moving fast or slow, to me, as long as you're moving, then you're going to see progression in anything that you do. Just don't stop. And so like Nikki said, just don't quit.
I always hear people talk about their passions and their mission. When you really find it, it transforms everything you do because you want to keep going, you want to keep producing, you want to keep creating, and you want people to resonate with that and really that work is what makes the difference. More people that feel like you're saying, Craig, that are mission driven.
Well, here's the thing. Like I I say this too. I would say to somebody young, don't ever be discouraged of doing something because somebody else is doing it. Because number one, at this point, there's hardly any room for anything to be considered original, right? Um,
Absolutely.
when you go down uh to the store, how many different brands of bread, how many different types of waffles? I mean, there's so many options and people like that. So you
Right.
just got to make sure that you're an option and you're a flavor that people want, periodically. Some people are going to go to me for a wedding because they like the way that it looks visually with me. And some people are going to go book with Coco Creative because they like the way that he looks. And so it's not about being afraid to do something because somebody else. You just got to make sure that you provide a unique experience and in a way that people want to enjoy it from you.
Do you think that, you know, I know there was a period of time definitely in Des Moines where I wouldn't say that it was the most collaborative environment. I feel like after George Floyd was murdered in 2020, something has shifted and people are, like help arrives, and comes and people I really feel are more helpful than ever. Have you found that to be the case in your journey? Do you feel like there are a lot of helpers? Do you feel like Des Moines is a place where it's a supportive environment when it comes to like entrepreneurship?
Yes and no. I think that no matter where you go, there's always going to be people that are willing to work and people who aren't. And that's why, to me, it's important that you surround yourself with people doing the things you want to do. You know, um, So from my lens, yes, I have seen a lot of success from people who want to work and do the things together. I mean, perfect example, me and you. There's things behind the scenes that people don't know, but we've been working together. The jobs that I've gotten have been because of you. You spoke of me. And in the African American Leadership Academy, one of the things I learned is, when you have a relationship with people, it's important to nourish such relationships because we have people who are mentors people who we can reach out to, have conversations with, talk to on a personal level. And then we have people who are sponsors, people who speak positive of you, even when you're not in the room. And so
Mhm,
while me and you developing a friendship, you have been a sponsor for me.
mhm,
I've got a job because of you speaking highly of me, because you believe it in me. And that right there is what I've experienced. And I think that's what, if everybody could realize that we're a network, we're a community, there ain't no reason why once you start, like I said, surround yourself with people doing the things you want. I mean, we have everything we need to accomplish what we want in this city as a people, you know. So I know it exists, the divide, and trust me, I don't like to put my eyes on the things that ain't positive because it's there. I'd rather
mhm.
put my attention and give my energy to things that are positive. So yes, while it does happen, and I've heard through certain areas and other classes, I don't want to speak on it, it's there, but I put my attention on what we're doing right here. And so that part is what's magnified to me. So there is a great network of people that want to work together, that want to do great things. And what you just said, I do notice this uptick of that. I do feel like there's this shift in Des Moines with Black culture. I mean, the African American Museum, right?
Mhm.
Uh, that's huge. That's huge for Des
Absolutely.
Moines. And so that tells you that work is happening and that people are working together, because that's the only way we're going to move forward in Des Moines.
Absolutely, absolutely, and across the state, I'm just enjoying getting to know so many movers and shakers and people just care, that are trying to make their communities better. And we can't ever let it be said that we don't have that. We do have a sense of community across the state, and we do have people doing great things. And they do enjoy our support, like you said, whether they know it or not.
Hmm.
We're rooting for each other. I'm rooting for everybody Black. There's just no way to get around not saying that. Um, but
Absolutely.
but before we go, I want you to run down for the listeners, everything that you offer in your business, how to
Mhm.
contact you, how to interact with you.
Okay. So Cignature Productions is a mini multimedia content company. And so what I can do is this. I can, if you have real estate, I'm a certified drone pilot. I can fly on your property, get aerial views of your business. If you have a wedding and you want photos and video, I'll offer both. You can hire me and I can be there from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, and I can provide you photos. Now, I also have a lot of references in terms of photography if you want somebody more skilled than me. But if you want high-end video, that's my specialty. um, Branding. So if you got a clothing line, you have a makeup line, any type of content and branding that you have, I can create content for that. So commercial, which is more right now, there's something really big. It's vertical, and that is through the cameras now. You just turn it and shoot sideways, but it's shooting portraits so that the video fills up the full cell phone. Because right
Mhm.
now, people taking more content on their cell phones than they do TV. And so I'm really focused on vertical marketing. Um, Birthday parts, um, all of it. Uh, the biggest thing I like to say is the most satisfying part of this is you have an idea. You come to me. My job is to bring that to life visually. In a nutshell, that's what Signature Productions do. We take an idea that's in your brain, whether it's for a wedding, whether it's for your branding, whether it's for a birthday party, and we make it as cinematic as possible. That way, when you relive that moment in your life, you can enjoy it at the highest clear form possible. That's what I do. And to reach
Lovely.
me, you can reach me on Signature Productions on Facebook, Signature Productions Instagram, Signature Productions on LinkedIn, and Cignature Productions on TikTok. You just search that on any of those social media platforms. And then I have an email, Signature Productions 6. You can email me if you want to book or look for any type of marketing that way as well.
And that signature with the C. C for
Signature with a
Craig,
C.
right?
C for Craig. We had to make it unique to me.
Absolutely. Great. Well, thank you so much for being on now, the second episode of Inside Black Iowa. Glad to have you here. Glad to know you and look forward to working with you in the future. I've got some ideas about that drone footage that you
Ah,
can do. I
Yes.
want some of that for Black Iowa News for video for the website. So we'll be talking. And again, just thank you for sharing today. Your story certainly will help others, and appreciate having you on. And thanks so much for being here.
Let me say this before I go. It's important that we nourish the relationships with the people that we're building with. So I want to thank you again, because there's a job that I got, the Black Iowa Farm Conference, which was the first one in Iowa. I got that because of you, and so
Wow.
I want to thank you right now for that because again, uh, we're building what I would consider a friendship, but you've been a sponsor for me, and for somebody like me who's an entrepreneur in Iowa, that's the type of thing that keeps me afloat. And that's the type of thing that has helped my business grow. So I want to tell you right here, thank you for that because I appreciate it. And I'm going to do the same for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Craig. I love that. And I'm so glad you got the job. I appreciate that so much. Well, this has been the second episode of Inside Black Iowa, where we discuss what's important to Black Iowans. Tune in on YouTube and Substack and everywhere you can find good podcasts. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for listening.